Hi, I'm Sven Wexler. I moved to Brooklyn about 7 years ago to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. I worked at restaurants for a long time, serving obnoxious New Yorkers expensive food, and I kind of got tired of that, and so I bought a $500 Dodge Ram van and started doing moving jobs. For the first 2 years, 3 years, it was just me posting online and moving people with my van, and maybe occasionally hiring a buddy to like help me lift the other end of a couch. And I finally realized I can actually just have my buddies do the moving job, and I just have my cell phone and can run the business from afar. It seems like such an obvious revelation, but at the time it was, I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner.
My name's Jeff Dickinson. I'm from Topeka, Kansas.
I met Jeff when I was doing stand-up at this local open mic at the Bowery Poetry Club. He would make his living actually at night, or during the days, playing in the subways.
So that I wouldn't have to have a regular job.
And then he would come blow most of that money on beer.
But now I'm a mover.
He's a weird combination between genius and total fool. There's part of Jeff that you think he could have written Shakespeare. And then he gets 5 beers on him in the middle of the night, and he's trying to climb a tree, or offering to pick you up, or taking all his clothes off and rolling around in the snow. He's an interesting dichotomy. Milton was the second guy I ever hired to work with me. Milton's got a lot more attitude on a day-to-day basis than Jeff does. He's a much more opinionated guy. He's got a little bit of a temper on him sometimes. Now, he's excellent with customers. He only yells at me. He never yells at customers. But he does yell at me a fair amount, actually, which is a weird situation considering technically I'm the boss. But I love him. He's hilarious on stage. I don't know if you ever get a chance to see Milton doing comedy on stage. It's just absurd brilliance.
My name is Jack Dawson, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I'm originally from the Moon. A
lot of the guys who work for me remind me of myself kind of 10 years ago, when I was a lot more irresponsible than I am now.
I'm a bit of a clumsy person, but that doesn't slow me down from being a fucking awesome mover.
I recognize in them the delinquent that I used to be.
The Moon is like the base for these aliens who came down to mine the Earth for precious metals.
But sometimes they are like my kids that I just really want to like lock in a corner.
My name is Brady, and I'm from New Hampshire. I moved to Brooklyn to play music with my friends.
And so now I sit here and the guys go out and lift couches up and downstairs. Now you'd think that that is actually less stressful than lifting couches. It turns out it's actually the opposite. Managing a bunch of delinquent genius artists who are flaky and have all their own quirks, and being the guy at the other end of the phone line is actually more stressful than carrying a sleeper sofa up 5 flights of stairs. You really want the person on the other end of that couch to know intuitively how to move.
Somebody just kind of knows, you know, what to do, where the angles are, and just does it like seamlessly.
You don't want to have to talk about it. You don't want to have to say your left or my left.
Somebody who wears deodorant.
To a point, a couch is a couch is a couch. You know, and a doorway is a doorway, but there's different hallways and there's different techniques.
The couch, often a sleeper sofa, weighs 250 pounds.
The guy you want on the other side of the couch is somebody who has a good idea, at least, of what you're going to have to do.
What sucks is when you're with a new guy and you actually have to tell them every 3 seconds what to do.
Moving couches just sucks. There's no, you can't be good at it.
My most memorable move,
It was Jack and I
believe, was June 4th.
We were moving this girl from Bushwick to Harlem.
And there's a lot of things that can go wrong on a move. You know, you get a list and it's like, this is the address, this is how many flights of stairs, this is where we're going to, these are the items that we have. And like one by one, each one of those things was wrong.
We were supposed to be moving her further to Bushwick, but that place canceled on her.
You know, it said the second floor, it was actually on the 4th floor.
Her boxes were falling apart, there were some bags. The people she was leaving were obviously glad to get rid of her.
The person who was listed on the sheet as our contact was not the person there. The phone number was different. And then the address that they were moving to, which was supposed to be 3 blocks away, was now Harlem.
So we go up to Harlem.
And it's this giant, like, octagonal project building.
Huge. Like, you can't see it, like 5 towered buildings. Like, just soul-sucking, depressing kind of things.
And she goes in there and had offered to, you know, the lady was advertising the place for $700. She got up there and the pictures she saw was not the place at all. It was like bed bug infested, just like tons of stuff everywhere.
She comes crying out of the thing. Like, Jack and I have her stuff on dollies and we're ready to take it into the building as soon as she's ready to show us where she's going to be living.
While she's in there dealing with this, I'm sitting there with Jeff, and we had picked up one of her guitars that was just sitting in the back of the truck.
You know, she had a guitar she was moving. Without a case, we didn't open any cases or take anything out, just fill in with the guitar.
I'm starting to play, and like, this is going to turn into us moving this lady into a storage facility. Like, I can just smell it now.
There's this little mini storage just right there, and it's not even on a main road. You have to go on these tiny little roads to get to it. Like, it's this just crappy little mini storage. She's like, I guess I have to just move my stuff in here.
It's gonna be okay. And like, what do you want? Where do you want to go? Like, where do you live? Where do you hang out? And she's like, I don't know. Can I say Greenpoint? And I was like, okay, well, let's, you know, get on the map. We'll find a storage facility in Greenpoint. We'll take you there. You put your stuff. And she's like, okay. And we get in the car. I'm driving. And Jeff's playing Homeward Bound, the Simon Garfunkel song. We're just screaming at the top of our lungs.
And she just like burst out laughing.
Thank you guys so much. She's like, saved my life. And like, really, it felt like if we hadn't been there, if it had been somebody else, it would have gotten like suicide.
So back when it was just me and Jeff in the van, there was a period where it was the whole moving company was Jeff and I. And we show up, and this guy looks like he's been on drugs for 5 days in his apartment and has left.
There's dirty and there's filthy. You know, there's some kind of weird moisture or something that makes it filth.
He smells bad, he's covered in sweat, and the entire apartment, which is packed to the gills with just useless crap that you don't know why people want to move and keep, is also, the entire floor is covered in
quarters, and Q-tips.
And the guy doesn't want to move any of that. He just wants us to move his other crappy, dirty, filthy furniture.
As movers, our hands are always at the bottom of everything everybody owns. You know, it's just filthy.
So every time the guy turns around, Jeff and I are like picking up quarters furiously.
Because he's just gonna leave them when we walk away with like a couple $100 worth of quarters.
Feeling dirty and filthy and like we need a tetanus shot.
This is kind of embarrassing for me, but that wasn't me with Sven.
That was actually one of 2 dirty Q-tip moves.
And I remember him telling me the story distinctly.
We moved another guy who also had his floor covered in dirty Q-tip.
Then somewhere around 3 years ago, we were at a bar and he was telling the story and suddenly it was me and him.
I don't know if this is a specific kind of mental illness, but it's weird that happened twice. The dream for Sven moving is to probably buy 1 or 2 more trucks and be busy with those trucks, and eventually for me to be able to step back and just count the money. Frankly, I'd love to never show up to work again. I would like this business to be so successful that I can sit on my ass in Costa Rica while money just pours in.
Sven moving is very near and dear to my heart. Get it? Get it? You get it? You get it? I don't know about you, but I have a splitting headache. Because I have no body.
Do an antler one.
Get it?
Do something with the antlers.